Hello and welcome back to another figure review. Today, I'm gonna have something a little more special. And before I even begin with this review, I have to talk about Power Rangers. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You know, growing up as a kid, to me, Power Rangers was one of the greatest things. It was like passing of the torch. I was always a TMNT fan, and when TMNT ended, it was kind of then when Power Rangers started, and it just became the new thing. But then you grow older, and suddenly it's not cool anymore. You're like 14, 15, and it's like, you just still something about fucking Power Rangers, blah, blah, blah. So you kind of outgrow it. But it's one of these things, once you get like your early to mid-20s, suddenly something like Power Rangers is cool again, because it's nostalgic, and you remember all the great times you had with it. And that, my friends, brings me to today's review, because when I started watching a bit of it again, during Power Rangers Samurai. And say about Samurai what you want, I kinda liked it, there was a lot of it that was stupid. One fact that remains is that this motherfucker is badass. Say hello to Fuwa Juzo, which is the original Japanese name of the original Super Sentai Shinkenger, which I've also watched. But this guy was called Decker in the Power Rangers Samurai series, and it's one of these characters that comes around every so often, every once in a while, and you just look at it and you think, damn, this design is absolutely badass, and this guy looks absolutely badass. And that's why I've been wanting to get a figure of this for a while now, but it's been going on for like pretty high prices, and I finally got my hands on one. But enough about my pre-story, enough about the box. This is, by the way, Bandai Tamashii Nations, some Japanese text, 2012, SH Figuarts, like you should be used to at this channel, and also a little toy company Illuminati sign, haha. Let's go. Well then, wow, that's your one-word review. Wow. You know, I always take these guys out of the box and I take some time to look at them before I go into the review, kind of check out the articulation and the overall look, and I can already tell you, I really like this one. So first of all, let's have a look at the overall size of this guy. 14.5 centimeters to the top of his head, which makes him almost 6 inches tall. Now, overall likeness, detail, paint, I don't really have to say much about it. Just look at the face real quick. As you can tell, you have the sculpted detail in there. You kind of have his brain and his eyes, and you got the see-through plastic over it. It looks so great, man. I'm just, wow, I'm stunned. I'm at awe. I don't know, I like fucking, look at all this. The paint job, the detail alone in the head sculpt is absolutely crazy. And you have the same thing going on in the chest. You got the skull kind of logo. So you got like the nice gray over here, and there's also tons of shading going on. You got some more gray, you got some white, and all kinds of like dirty looking shading, which is very cool, which fits the character. You got some more skulls or evil faces going on over here with the red see-through plastic over it. Even more detail. I don't know what else to say. You can see what's going on here, and there's a ton of stuff going on, and they just, execution-wise, I don't really see any problems. It's kind of sloppy going on over here. This is kind of random, but this is real, like, I mean, it's muddy, like, dirty look, and I don't really know how you can go wrong with that. It's just like, you can say, oh, the brushes over there are too thick, but I don't know. I think overall it looks good, and this is a very, very far zoom in. But, you know, the general overview, general look of this figure is just amazing. Get some more red, see-through plastic going on, and just all this detail. I could look at this forever. Even in the feet. And little spikes, and this entire back. It doesn't end there, boys. You got more in the back, which is like all kind of brownish. I don't really know about that. I mean, it looks cool. The gray part kind of sticks out though. Don't know why they did that. But I mean, overall, there's just some very, very small blemishes here and there if you really want to point it out. But overall, this look That's great. But what about the articulation? Well, I mean, there's some things going on here. First of all, head is on a ball. You don't really get much out of the head. You just get a little bit of wiggle motion, just backwards, forwards. Goes around all the way. But where the articulation really goes on is in the neck, which gets a lot forward and back and side to side all the way. So yeah, that's that. And then we have this piece, which is on a ball over here, connected to the shoulder. It's just really to get it out of the way. It kind of goes side to side. As you can tell, it goes all the way forward, and this is as far back as it goes. It really leans on to that being molded over here, so that's cool. That will not get in the way. Well, actually, let's try out how much it will not get in the way. So this is on a ball hinge. You got the kind of floating piece in here, so to hide the articulation. It does go up like that. Not really that much, but it's alright. Gets the job done. Let me get it back down. Let me get that back down. Then we have double hinged elbow. Goes up as far as the sculpt lets it, and that's really it's really one of these figures. You look at the sculpt and it pretty much tells you what's going on. Then we have the fist, goes around all the way. Doesn't really get much forward and back. Again, sculpt wise, here it's a super heavy block, but there you have like a little bit of an angle going up. So that really depends which way you spin it around. Then at the torso, upper part of the torso, goes around, but doesn't really get much more. It doesn't really go forward or back. As you can tell, it's pretty much blocked. It does go back, actually, a bit, just a bit. At the lower part of the torso, goes back like that, and forward. It's not super, but it's mostly just to go left and right, really. You get it forward a little bit, just for some dramatic poses. The legs go up all the way and back, not because it's blocked over here. This is, I mean, it's kind of like a soft plastic, so you could probably force it up a little bit, but I wouldn't play around with it too much. Because of that, it also doesn't really go out to the side. Hold on, let me pull that up though. Well, there you go. Doesn't really go out to the side, as you can see. Well, it would. Hold on. Goes up like that. Doesn't really stay up. Well, it does. The knees, which are again double hinged, just like the elbow, and you have a little knee pad over there, which makes it look a little less crappy. And then at the feet, you have just a ball connected to it. But you have enough range of it to get it. Have it go to the side and forward and back, and you have your toe hinge, which is super stiff, but there it is. Now, accessory-wise, he already comes with the two fist hands, which are on him, which we've seen earlier. Then you get two open hands. These are kind of open hands, kind of grabbing hands a little bit. You get those, and of course, you got two sword-holding hands, which we will try out right now. First of all, you have the entire sword. I'm just gonna, yeah, that goes in nicely. Then you have the broken sword. I mean, I will go over the swords in detail again, but I just want to look at how he holds that. And you got the small sword, which he carried around when his other sword was broken. Uramasa, actually. Sword is very important. This one's kind of, no, it still stays in. Let's see if we can get. It also kind of holds it with the other open hand. Kind of, you know, it's not really super great, but it kind of works. No, not with that one though. Not with that one. Okay. I guess that one is for the shaft, for like the holding thing, the sword holder, or whatever that's called. Yeah, that's for those. Okay, now everything again. I'm gonna go over the sword holding thing. What do you call it again? Somebody tell me, please, in the comments. But pretty simple. It has a bit of shading going on here. Looks good. You have the grabby, yeah, the kind of claw going on over here, which is in there as a single piece. I don't know why, but you kind of connect this to that, and you kind of connect this entire sword holding thing to his back, which I will show you at the end of the video when I get like the whole shebang connected to the character. Then you have his sword, Uramasa, which has a fantastic paint job, honestly. Like, you have a little gold going on over here, the metallic red, which is really shiny, and of course the metallic gray blades going on over there with a little bit of golden. Just fantastic. Doesn't overlap anywhere, it just looks great. And then you have the broken, again, it's the same sword, they just kind of broke it in half, which was part of the story. I mean, his sword is he's really connected to his sword, and at some point it breaks. I think the Red Ranger breaks it actually in a fight with him. I'm not sure anymore. But for the time being, before he repairs his sword, he has that one, which doesn't want to focus right now. There you go. Also looks amazing. Got the same style with the red and the gray with the little bubbles going on over here, which are molded on. There are holes in there. Actually looks pretty good. And a straight up black handle. And yeah, that was it. That was all you got for accessories. That's really all you need for this guy. Alrighty then, time for the final thoughts. What do I think about this figure as usual? Well, I mean, personally, 10 out of 10. Like, seriously. Well, maybe a 9, because articulation-wise, it's kind of limited on the head, and the arms, I mean, they go back and forth, which I kind of forgot to show. Sorry. But it goes back and forth. Again, as much as the sculpt lets it. But, yeah, articulation-wise, it's not the greatest, it's not the worst, but I'm just having a look at the figure itself, which looks absolutely amazing. He doesn't have that many accessories, but he doesn't really need much more accessories. You don't need a different head for this guy, because he already got one of the best heads in figure history. Like, seriously, look at this. Doesn't this look badass? And that's the entire figure. Badass. So, absolutely recommend this one. I love it. Has tiny flaws, which I don't really see as flaws. Just, yeah, but there's not much more to say. That's it, boys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, feel free to hit up with a like, and maybe subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, gameplay stuff, and whatever Fuwa Juzo wants. Goodbye.